Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Logan Crocker, a broker with McKee Properties, and I'm so excited to introduce my first community guest, Ann McKee Austin. Welcome, Ann.
Thank you, Logan. Glad to be here.
I know you have a lot of family in the area and a lot of friends and connections, but for those that don't know who you are and are just new to the area, why don't you tell them where we are and give a little bit of a background on yourself and how you became to be in Cashiers.
Great, I'd love to. Well, I'm part of the McKee family. My grandfather, Eben McKee, purchased the property in the 1920s and proceeded to build a small mountain inn because he recognized that North Carolina was becoming an important tourist destination, particularly for Southern families that wanted to get away from the heat and the mosquitoes of the low country and come up here for low-key lifestyle, cool mountain temperatures, and just spectacular beauty. So the property had originally belonged to General Wade Hampton III and his family from Columbia, South Carolina, and later passed to his niece, Caroline Hampton Halstead, who was married to Dr. William Halstead, who was the famous surgeon, pioneering surgeon at Johns Hopkins. Mm-hmm. Well, they both died in 22. My grandfather bought the property and developed this inn, which became pretty legendary throughout the South. His wife, my grandmother, Gertrude McKee, was the first woman senator of North Carolina. So she had lots of friends in Raleigh, and she would bring lots of important people up here, and political figures came to visit at High Hampton. Margaret Truman was here in the 50s. Cornelia Vanderbilt Cecil came in the 30s, and I thought, was the Biltmore House... Biltmore House wasn't big enough. She wanted to come for a getaway to High Hampton. So I was born in the mid-40s, and I actually came here directly from the hospital when I was born. My father was overseas in the war, and I've pretty much been here ever since. Although we grew up in Asheville, we would come here the minute school was out. We'd be in the car headed here for the summer. We'd spend the whole summer here and head home the day before school started back to Asheville. So I worked at every job there was to work at. My brothers and I, we did everything at High Hampton. Our first job was selling Coca-Colas on the golf course. And my little brother was the cutest, so we'd make him trot out to sell. They'd always buy a Coke from him. And plus he'd put a sign on the water fountain that said, "Poison water, Coke's ahead." And I managed the money, and my other brother did the restocking. And one year we made $70, mostly because my mother never made us pay any of it back when she'd buy the Cokes for us. So anyway, I worked in other aspects of the inn. I worked in the dress shop. I worked in reservations. I worked as a social hostess. But later on in the 80s, we decided that it would be a good idea to divide up the family property because there were all these heirs. And so my brothers and I took the 800 acres to the south, and that's where we developed Wade Hampton Golf Club. My uncle and cousin kept the inn and the resort operation. So we developed Wade Hampton with the legendary golf course designer, Tom Fazio. Are you a golfer, Logan?
I am. I love
you are?
golf.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Very familiar with Tom
So my brother had said, "This is going to be one of the finest golf courses." And I said, "You mean in all of Cashiers? There's lots of golf courses here." And he said, "You don't understand what I'm talking about. This is going to be a world-class golf course." So it was, or it is. After we developed Wade Hampton, we decided to move into the general real estate business, and we opened McKee Properties, which still is going strong today. Sadly, William died, as you know, Logan, about 8 years ago, but I've continued on the company with my partners, and we are just happy to have young, enthusiastic agents like you, Logan, carrying on the banner.
Well, I'm so thrilled to be with McKee Properties. I really am. And so being in the area for that long, please give us a little bit of what it's been like to see it grow over the years. It's had to be amazing, I'm sure.
Well, it has been amazing, and it's difficult to see change. Everybody says, "Oh, I want it to be like it used to be." Well, it's not going to be like it used to be, but we want to make it the best it can be as it's developed into this next century. When I was growing up, Cashiers was just a quiet little village. There was 107 was a quiet country road, and from a young age, we would walk to town in the middle of the highway, and nobody thought anything about it without our parents. Can you imagine doing that today?
Yeah, you definitely cannot do that
You
today.
cannot do that today. There was one little grocery store, Passmore's grocery store, and no traffic lights, just a kind of a casual crossroads. So we'd go buy food at Passmore's, but not very much because we ate every single meal at the inn. I would spend the whole day at the inn, mostly at the stables. Mm-hmm. We had a wonderful riding program at Highhampton and a school of equitation that was famous. So, but anyway, every time something new comes to Cashiers, people get upset and they'll say, oh, it's the beginning of the end. And when Fowler's grocery store opened up, we thought, because it had 2 cash registers, we thought, oh no, it's the beginning of the end. Now, you look back on Fowler's is that treasured historic property.
Can you imagine Ingalls running with just 2 cash registers?
And when Ingalls came in, oh boy, it's really going to change. But I think for the most part, we can be proud of the development that's happened here, and there are lots of people working to make sure that happens. One of the things that we founded early on was something called the Village Conservancy to protect the village character of Cashiers. So we protected the land at the crossroads, which is where the village green is. It's just can't imagine Cashiers without the village green.
Yeah, such a beautiful piece.
And then we protected the McKinney Meadow, which is on 107. 107, for you newcomers, is what I call the historic corridor. And there are 3 National Register properties on it. The Church of the Good Shepherd, Highhampton Inn, and the Zachary Talbert House. And so we're working hard to protect the historic landscape of that 107 corridor. There's a group now called Vision Cashiers, which is working very hard to address some of the needs of Cashiers, and they're doing a great job, and we're proud of the work that they've accomplished. But it's always ongoing to try to continue to let Cashiers grow, but to keep the things that people cherish about Cashiers, keep them intact.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to preserve the history because
Right.
Cashiers brings a lot of it.
We're sitting here in the Highhampton History Center, which recounts the history of Highhampton and is available for inn guests or club members in Highhampton. So hope you'll spend some time, Logan, looking at everything before today.
Absolutely. I love it. There's a lot to see here, a lot to learn. If you have the opportunity to come visit, I would highly suggest you do it because, for those that do have old memories of coming to Highhampton, seeing all the stuff in here is going to bring you right back to those memories, and it's going to be very special.
I'd love to show it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have a message?
I'd love to share the legacy with newcomers as well.
Absolutely. So do you have a message for anybody that's new to the area or even that is in the area and maybe just could use a message?
Okay, I've got two messages. The first one is get out and explore. I think a lot of people come and they settle in one of our beautiful residential communities and they get comfortable there and they miss out on so much in Jackson County and surrounding counties. They're just spectacular opportunities for every level of fitness. You don't have to be a rock climber to go enjoy Silver Run Falls, for example. They're beautiful waterfalls, wonderful hikes. Take advantage of everything that the area has to offer. There are all kinds of wonderful cultural events that we didn't have before, like the chamber music concert in the summertime. Big events like the Designer Show House for the Historical Society. So the second thing would be to get involved. That's the best way to get to know people in the community, like-minded people, and there's so many ways to volunteer. You can volunteer for the Boys and Girls Club. You can volunteer for the Village Green. You can, if you're interested in preservation like I am, you'll enjoy working for the Historical Society. You can work for the environmental groups like the Highlands Cashiers Land Trust, or you're interested in the Friends of Lake Glenville.
Yes, absolutely.
And you'll just meet wonderful people and you'll feel like you're playing a part in you're playing a role in keeping this valley that we are so fortunate to live in as a very special place.
Absolutely. Well, Ann, I've had a pleasure speaking with you today, and I know that everyone is going to enjoy listening to this.
It's been a treat, Logan. Thank you so much, and wish you the very best with your community connection website. I think it's a great idea, and it's going to be a big help for old and new people coming into Cashiers.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.